probably really stupid.
Yeah, buddy.
We've got a hand and wrist strap action camera. Wait, what? The Osmo Pocket, hashtag not sponsored, we bought this. Some cards. Oh, hello. Ta-da! Let's hope that we don't crash this one. We have a really bad track record with drones.
Clipped the top of a tree, busted 2 more props.
Yeah.
I think the drone's in the water right now because it hasn't come home after like 5 minutes.
We lost Fanny in Oregon. We lost Mavi in the Bahamas. The drone is in the ocean.
R.I.P. Mavi, you lasted us a solid 89 minutes of flight time. If we amortize the cost of you, your total operating cost is $13.48 per minute. About as expensive as a real helicopter. She was lost actually exactly in the Tropic of Cancer.
I don't know who this is going to be called yet. Unnamed drone. But okay, so something happened. Let me just put this away. Okay. Chris and I, we were watching some of our old vlogs the other day. We have gotten so caught up in like trying to tell a better story. We kind of like forgot where we came from. The whole purpose of this channel originally was to like document our lives. And I watched vlog number 2, the trip. When we went from St. John's to Vancouver, we drove across the entire US, drone in hand. We were shooting with the DJI Osmo Pro. That was our like vlogging camera. We set out to go. We had lapel mics in the car. It was a shit show. Why were we using lapel mics? Oh yeah, because the gimbal, you could hear it with the mic.
It was great. We didn't have to wait that long at all.
We were using this mic also, by the way. This mic is like 3 years old, deadly. Anyway, so we were watching this old video and I was like, you know, there are shots that we're not getting now. Like things that we're completely missing from our vlogs that we had previously when we started. We were missing these like driving shots. We vlog a lot in the car and we end up like just throwing the A7S up and shooting in the car, which is fine. But when you're in the car going to one location to another and you're vlogging really quickly, you don't always have time or want to set up a gimbal and put your, you know, A7S on it, and it's huge and it's clunky in the car. So that's why we decided to get this here, Osmo Pocket, because A, I'm curious about it. B, I'm wondering if it's as much of a hassle to use as it was when it was the Pro version and the larger version. I think there might be a time and a place for this camera, and I really want to try it out. Bought it also. Is it too late to like do, like this camera has been out for a long time. Is it too late to do a video on the Osmo Pocket? Like I know people have been like comparing it to the GoPro 7. I want to see if we can get the shots that we were getting when we first started vlogging. I think that maybe we should like unbox this guy first. Osmo Pocket on right now. We're testing the microphone in the car. I'm curious about what the audio sounds like. This is just like the audio from the Osmo, no mic attached.
This is by no means a comprehensive review of the Osmo Pocket. We're just kind of testing it in various scenarios. It's not replacing our normal camera setup by any means. I really was just hopeful that we could get it to hang out the car window, which we tested yesterday. It works. The gimbal doesn't fail. So now we're gonna go test it on a slightly more extreme snerio, strapped to the outside of a helicopter. All right, we have poor man's cineflex gimbal. All right, we're just gonna do a quick little lap around the airport, maybe a circuit or two, just to see how this thing makes out in extreme wind going 110 nautical miles an hour or roughly 125 miles per hour.
Hope it doesn't break.
Yeah, if it doesn't break either.
What? My headphones. The Osmo strapped to the bottom of the helicopter was an epic fail. Jello, hello. So we've gotten a little bit of a chance to test the Osmo out in the helicopter in a couple of different scenarios. I'm gonna give you guys some of my thoughts for now. Just realized I have like actual smudges all over my glasses. Cool. Comparing it to the Osmo Pro, which is what we started vlogging on, it fires up quicker, it's smaller, it's easier to use, kind of. I like it actually, it's cute. I think it has a time and a place in the car for driving shots.
I think that the time-lapse function could be awesome if you could save raw images, but you can't. It saves JPEGs.
Yeah, it's also 1080p, which is a bit of a drag.
You can save the JPEGs and recompile them as into 4K.
But it's not raw.
But it's not raw, exactly. That's a pain in the ass.
I think it is cool to be able to do that on the Osmo. Fire it up. You want to shoot a time lapse. It's kind of like a better version of the lazy man's time lapse that we usually do with the A7S. So it is cool. You can kind of program it, time it, animate it in the camera, and it kind of shoots like whatever you want. So I was impressed with that. I thought that was really cool. I shot like a bunch of different frame rates. So like in the helicopter at night, we shot 60 frames per second in 4K, which is awesome. I slowed that down. It definitely took out some of the shakes and the wobbles in the heli. Later during the day when we shot 24 frames per second at 4K, you could see the wobbles a lot more and it didn't look as good. Now we also need an ND filter. The shutter speed was through the roof, which made the motion blur look really weird. Wasn't a big fan of that. So I almost need to like get an ND filter and try the camera with the proper shutter speed again up in the helicopter and just see what that looks like. I think going forward, if I'm gonna use the Osmo in the heli, I'm gonna be shooting at 60 frames per second, and then I'll slow that down to 23.976 frames per second when I'm editing to smooth out just any of the jello. It was a little bit grainy in the night. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it also wasn't amazing. A lot of the downtown shots, like the nighttime shots, it was very, very dark. It worked incredible in the car. It was super stable in the car. We shoved the camera out the window. The gimbal didn't like shag up or anything. It was good. It's exactly what I wanted out of that camera originally. I know Chris had high hopes that it would work really well on the helicopter. Fortunately, it didn't work on the bottom of the helicopter, so I think we might have to go with the Hero 7 and try that out and see if that works a little bit better.
To the Osmo's defense, what's wrong?
It's just like popping in.
Yeah, the gimbal didn't fail when it was strapped to the outside of the helicopter going 125 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised at it. I assumed it was just gonna crack.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's a fixed camera, so it's factory perfectly balanced. Whereas with the Osmo Pro, we were changing lenses, the gimbal wasn't perfectly balanced because of that. We'd stick it out the car window and the gimbal would fail. It would roll and then you'd have to reset it manually.
It was also like this Jesus big.
Yeah.
Like compared to like this. Like this is so small.
It was good. It stood up to the speed that we were going, which is impressive. It's just that the vibration from the helicopter just jiggled the hell out of it, and the gimbal couldn't iron those small vibrations out.
I didn't think the audio was really great when we were recording in the car. I wouldn't be using this as a main vlogging camera anyway. It would literally be for like time lapses and like shooting in the car. Or in the heli if I didn't want to bring this camera up and I wanted to capture some like stock clips to kind of have on hand if I needed them for another video. A couple of other things that irritate me about this little guy is that you can't change the exposure unless you're connected to your phone. And you need dongles on dongles. Like, why does everything need a dongle? So either this like friggin' little thing here, which like, hello, I'm gonna lose that for sure. There's a thing that goes on the bottom that allows you to connect this with Bluetooth to your phone. You kind of have to set your exposure first on your phone if you want to use it without your phone. This is not a bad, like, what's the price point of this?
300 bucks.
It's like 300 bucks? Like, man, that's pretty good. It's like not bad for like a little cool little camera on a gimbal. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, so for this like sideways head is coming in the shot. My final thoughts, it's a pretty cool little camera, but for the price point, you could basically buy a GoPro Hero 7 that's way more versatile.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so if you're bent on having a gimbal, then sure, it works. If you're gonna be filming a lot more action type stuff, then a GoPro is probably better value for you.
Originally, we had intended on a lot of uses for this, and it's actually gonna provide us with less uses. So yes, like Chris said, we're definitely gonna have to get that GoPro Hero 7. It was cool, that was a fun experiment. We don't do like a lot of camera reviews, and obviously we paid for this, so this was not sponsored. I've been wanting to try it out. I know Chris has been trying it out. Like that wasn't even English. Cool, time's it, 10? This is when I stop working. Brain shuts down. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this weird, different little camera review video. I had a lot of fun trying it out and then comparing it to kind of what we were shooting with before. Looking back on episode 2 when we were shooting everything with the Osmo, feel a little nostalgic about it. So anyway, I look like a bag of dicks because it's Sunday night and it's time for bed because it's 10. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos. I said that really fast. We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. I'm so embarrassing. Oh my God. All right, how's that? Wait, this is in my pocket, it looks dumb. Okay, so first impressions, this is how I film, honestly. So Chris is behind the camera watching to make sure that that this actually stays in focus this time, because I don't know what the happened last time. I keep saying especially, I think it's especially. I'm adding an X like I say espresso. I don't say espresso. Okay, Chris is about to grab the knife. I'm about to get killed. Time to go.